Okay, I will start the meeting. And the first one is always thank you. So for the next 5 minutes, please introduce yourself and good news on your personal life or your personal work. And yeah, that's it. So please introduce yourself and tell me something about good news during the last week.
Last week, okay. Do I have to share screen or just my?
Maybe later after the thank you.
Okay. Okay. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dimas Satria. I live in Sukabumi, West Java. I'm 21 years old, and I'm currently studying in Pajajaran University, Unpad. My major is computer science, and I'm on the last years of college, I think. I just finished my 6th semester and going to 7th semester. And last week, I don't do too much, I think, after the final was in 6th semester. I take a break and I have holiday, I think. Then I think I should be productive again, and I try to go to internship. And my friends, Kevin Akbar Adiguna, I think you're intern too, refer me to you, and I just contact you, and I will be happy if you give me that chance to be your intern. Then I do your first sprint, I think, that you've been.
Yeah, we can talk about it later. Just thank you first.
Okay. I think that's it. I think that's so much it. And the with the 6th semester, there's a lot of projects, but the main one, I think I make a mobile app using Flutter. I just learn using Flutter and NestJS too with the backend, and I just done NestJS too, I think, with Express, and the database is just regular SQL, MySQL with REST API.
Okay.
I think that's it for me.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And is there any good news during the last week?
Good news. Going on to your internship. I think that's good news for me.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Anything else? Nope, I think just a regular week.
Okay, so thank you. And that's for the first part. And now the second part is onboarding workflow. Please share your screen and open the calendar on Notion.
Okay, screen share. Yeah, open the calendar.
Okay. So yeah, check the calendar. And there is one for you today. Yep. So, all right. So that's another one. So yours is not this one. Okay. Right. Okay, so this is called the meeting agenda. We always have a meeting agenda every week, and this is the first onboarding meeting. But the way the weekly meeting works is that after this meeting, you will need to prepare the meeting agenda before the meeting, and you will also need to lead the meeting. Okay. But for the first time, This time I will lead the meeting and I prepare the meeting agenda for you. But the general structure will be similar. Okay. So first I will share you something about onboarding workflow. Please click the that link on the onboarding workflow. So I can tell you a bit about it. Right. You can view the image in full size. And have you reviewed this before?
Yes, I have seen this before.
All right. So do you have any questions about the onboarding workflow?
Nope, I think.
Okay, that's good. So if you have no questions about the onboarding workflow, okay, I think there is something missing about this one. Onboarding workflow and weekly agenda. Yeah.
Actually, I don't see the grant access to Lovia team YouTube channel yet.
Oh, really? Okay. Let me check about that. Okay, so now click on weekly agenda.
Weekly agenda.
Right. So I think this should be the last one, yeah. It's kind of weird if this is the first one. Yeah, but it's okay. I want to know what is your feedback on this. So this is basically the things that you will be doing every week. So the way this works is that we start with the weekly one-on-one meeting, and this is the first one. And then after that, there are two things that you can do. Either you work on the to-do list, or you do some research, okay? Or you do both research and to-do, okay? So in every meeting, the output is always a to-do list, okay? So a to-do list that will be discussed next week. What are the results? Okay. So while doing on your to-do list, if you have any problems, you can ask me. You can add a problem to the issue list for next week's meeting. Or you can also contact me by using Lovia chat or by using Notion. Yeah, either of them, okay? By using Notion, because you can edit Notion and then mention my name, and until you get your problems resolved. I usually will not like help you entirely, but I'm more like giving you pointers. Maybe you can try to search or like join a community or forum and so on to solve the problem that you are having. Okay, so I think in Lovia chat you are not yet having the full privileges yet. Okay, let me add you. Oh no, you already have it, but I just haven't added you to the chat rooms. Okay, I think this should be part of the onboarding. Yeah. Okay. So I would say this should be add, yeah, add the intern to team member to appropriate via chat channels. Okay. So I will invite you to so hot. Okay, add users, Dimas. Okay, and then internship. Okay, I've added you to the two groups. Okay, please chat something on the internship channel. To other team members there.
Hello.
Okay, you can introduce yourself, tell others something a bit about yourself. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's Lovia chat. Let's go back to the weekly agenda. Weekly agenda workflow. So after that, you can improve documentation at about Lovia. Okay. You are already aware about Lovia, right? It's our website. Let me check if you have the necessary permissions. Okay, not yet. So that means I need to add you as an editor. Okay. Okay, now I think you can edit. All right, now please refresh the about Lovia and you will be able to yeah, add the add posts and so on. Okay, so there are some new menu items. Okay, about Lovia, set new members, set routes to editor. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to weekly agenda again. Let's go back to weekly agenda. Okay, so you will need to improve documentation and about Lovia. Well, what kind of documentation? This one page that you are looking for is also documentation. Okay, so a lot of things, basically almost everything about our projects are in this handbook. You can go to handbook and then every kind of documentation about software components, the way we work, workflows, and so on are here. Okay. So not only writing source code, but you will also need to write or edit documentation. Okay. And same goes if you are researching something. And after that, 24 hours before your next meeting, do you want to meet every Wednesday at 14 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
so if that's a good time for you, then that means at 14 p.m. next Tuesday, you will need to record and upload YouTube a video to Lovia team YouTube channel. So you can use any favorite screen recording app. If you scroll below, there's also a list of recommended screen recording tools that you can use in Windows or Mac or Ubuntu. And after that, you also need to summarize that in a blog post. It's a short blog post. So if you want examples, you can just go to our YouTube channel. There are examples there. And for the blog post, you can scroll up and click blog there. Okay, so there you'll see the blog post from other team members. Try to just open one of them to see. So
I want to say the first one.
okay.
Yeah.
So you embed the blog and also the video. I'm not sure if this one has embedded video or not yet. So please go to the a newer blog post. The newer blog post has a summary and also a video of that. So try to open another one, the newer one, maybe the latest one. So that will be a blog and also a video at the end. Should be like that. So Does it post a video there? Not yet. So maybe try another one. The other from, I think from Firhan. Yeah, from Firhan. So generally what you do is that you post, not yet. Okay. But there should be maybe one from Angela. Let's see. Yeah, rest of actions. Because the right one should be. Okay. Yeah, so this should be like this. So there's a summary, and at the end there's a video. Okay, so this is what needs to be done. So thank you for letting me know that. I will let them know that they should put the video at the end of the blog post. All right.
With using bahasa Indonesia is okay for you, like Angela Markau.
Well, hopefully use English, but if it's not possible, well, Indonesia is also okay in this video. But yeah, okay. English is preferred. Okay.
More. Okay.
And okay, let's go back to the weekly agenda again. Okay. And after that, okay, so after you have done that, the video and blog post, and then perhaps also update the documentation here. And then what you do is prepare the card, yeah, the meeting agenda. So basically the same ways as this Notion, there will be a template that I will show you before the end of this meeting. You can just like duplicate and then edit. So basically all of the things that I need to know or to be discussed before the meeting, it should already be on the meeting agenda before the meeting. Okay. So it's it's similar as what I'm doing now, right? So if you look at the meeting agenda, it's already there. So the first one is SegU, and the second one is onboarding workflow. Although if there are some things that like I forgot something, it's possible to change it during the meeting. But ideally, everything should be in this agenda before the meeting. Okay, so it gives me time to learn what the things that you will be reporting, what the problems that you are having, and also why it's 24 hours before the meeting, so I have some time to watch your video. Okay, so don't like publish the video like 5 minutes before the meeting, right? Okay, so I need some time to look at the video and to process that, and to be able to give you meaningful evaluations and suggestions. So yeah, basically that's it. And also in the meeting there will be a scorecard. So its scorecard is a evaluation on your evaluation on previous week's to-dos, and that's it. So any question about the weekly agenda?
Weekly agenda. Nope, I don't have.
Okay, that's good. So the next one will be the company VTO. Right. The problem is that we don't really have the company VTO yet. Okay. $14.31. Okay. So because we don't have the company video yet. I will just explain this to you. Orally, I guess, and I would say this would be accountability chart. I think we can start with accountability chart. Drive. Okay. So about the company video. So video is basically a vision traction organizer. That's a terminology from EOS, but okay, I should put a link there. I should put a link because it's there in the docs. Let me post a link. Okay. Leadership. Okay. Okay, I've put a link on leadership there. Okay, it's not showing yet. That one. Okay, but this is still a work in progress. But so generally, Lovia is a counseling company. So we are a professional counseling company. Let me read the official vision. Okay. All right. So Lovia is a professional counseling anywhere, anytime, and personalized for you. Okay. And we are an all remote company. So, or at least we try to, yeah. Most of our team members, both employees and interns, are remote. Also, freelancers are also remote. And even if there are team members who are not yet remote yet, okay, like I have someone here. Hello, Yaski, Mas Yaski. Okay, he is not remote yet, but well, maybe that he will be remote someday. All right. So that means all of the workflows and things and management that we do, we use online tools very, very extensively, because the assumption is that team members do not meet each other face to face. Okay. And also the assumption is that a team member is not required to understand Indonesian language. Okay. So because we are also working with freelancers and vendors who are from India, from Pakistan, European countries also, and we cannot force them to learn Indonesian first before working with us. Okay. So that's one of the reason why the standard language that we use is Indonesian. Okay, is English. Okay,
Mm.
so especially for written documentation on chat and so on, communication is in English. Well, except for it's basically it's not a sin to use Indonesian or Arabic or Sundanese, whatever. It's not a sin. It's not forbidden, but
Mm.
uh, how why we do it is just to make it easier to communicate with anyone, including future team members. Okay,
Mm.
so for example, maybe a previous team member they left, and the documentation is all in English. So even if there is a new team member, whether that be an intern or an employee or freelancer, but they are not from Indonesia, uh, they can they can start working immediately. That's it.
Mm.
Okay, so any question about us? Actually, you can read a lot about us in about Lovia Life. Although, yeah, there are still a lot of things that we need to share about uh, our organization.
Okay.
And we are also a social enterprise. That means that 51% of our profits will be donated to charity, especially
Mm.
charity in children education. Okay,
Mm.
we are trying to set up a foundation in Indonesia. It's called the Raise Up Kids Foundation, and actually we are already having some progress with it. Yeah. So if you are interested, you can also join the foundation. That one is a non-profit one. So basically, the proceeds, some proceeds of our commercial operations, they are used for the non-profit activities. Right.
Okay.
So any question about this one?
Not yet.
Okay. So let's move on to the next one. I think it's accountability chart. Yeah.
Mm.
So accountability chart, you can open that, and there will be one for you. You can look up yourself in the accountability chart.
Mm.
You can also look up your friend Kevin.
Mm.
So this is a accountability chart. It's not an organizational chart because
Mm.
this is more about what each block is accountable. So that is why there may be several people in two seats. Yeah,
Mm.
I am. Yeah, especially me. I do have a lot of seats there.
Mm.
Although I am trying to reduce that. Okay, so as there are team members, so they will take my seat. And okay, for example, you also have two seats, right? So it's in Miluv
Mm.
product, but you're taking both the PWA front end and also backend engineer.
Mhm.
Right? And then uh, the text below, they are the scorecard. So scorecard is basically a number that is tracked every week. Okay. So feature time to market is that, okay, so if we are planning to launch something, for example, a functionality or a feature, how many days does it take for that feature to be able to be deployed to server
Mm.
or to production, and then real users can use that. Okay, so that is feature time to market. And sprint velocity is usually is just the number of commits per week, and also like the number of bugs. This is usually 0 at start, but there may be more if there are issues. And how many tech video and handbook article per week. Ideally, that should be 1. Okay, and that's it. Okay. So any question about the accountability chart?
I think it's crystal clear.
Okay. And then next one is tools. Okay. So we have several tools. We have About Lovia. This is basically our everything documentation. Yeah. So we put documentation there, and we will also be having like internship application process there. Although right now it's still manual, like basically sending an email, but we are working to make it more automated with forms and application and so on. And everyone must contribute to About Lovia, whether it's a blog post or handbook documentation. Okay, let me show you an example of handbook documentation. Okay, so you can go to About Lovia and click on handbook. So which one? NestJS, I guess, yeah. Okay, go to handbook. Okay, now let's say go to, is there any NestJS in there?
No.
Nope. Engineering, WordPress, Node.js, not yet. MariaDB. I think it's okay. Let's just open. Yeah, it's also okay. All right. So this example. This is a React Native. So if there are things that are useful for everyone on the team, you put it there. And also, for example, like a specific documentation about the product, you can put it there. You can click, let's see WordPress there. Let's see WordPress on the left.
WordPress.
Okay. So this is the plugins that we use on WordPress. We use WordPress for some of our sites, including About Lovia Live, and also Lovia itself, and also Miluv for the public-facing website. We are using WordPress. And yeah, and there are other things, and hopefully if there are things that are not yet in this handbook, you can contribute to make this even more complete. Okay, so it's a handbook. It's not like a complete manual of every technology. That's why you basically just link it to the original documentation, maybe some snippets. So we are not trying to replicate the documentation of other like open source projects, yeah, but giving a useful pointers to other documentation, the list of common problems, common issues, and so on, and also a documentation about our own products. That's it. Okay, so it's because our team are all remote, so it's not practical to store the knowledge only in our head, yeah. So the knowledge is stored here. So anytime there is something that needs to be asked, we should ask the knowledge base first before asking a human being. So when we talk to a human being, hopefully it's for talking about things that are more fun than explaining something over and over again. Okay, so we can talk about like, hey, how are you? So have you eaten
Good
today?
news.
Okay, so that's about Lovia. Any question about Lovia?
No, sir.
Okay, so next one, the tool that we use is Notion Project Management. All right. So,
Yeah.
well, this is it. So basically, uh, we use this for our operational tool. We also use this for bug tracking. Okay, for task tracking. We use this for the agenda, and so it's mostly for operational things. Okay, so what I mean by operational things is that the things here are meant to be like just adding new stuff in like chronological way, but it's not something that is used for reference purposes. So for writing like documentation and so on, the place is in about Lovia. But in this case, as I've shared you 2 pages, one is calendar. So we put all of the meeting agenda there, and then the product board. So the product board, you can see the roadmap of the things that need to be developed by by each team member. Okay, and what is the progress for each one? That's it. So, so you have used Notion before?
No.
Okay.
Before with task management tools,
Mhm.
I've used like Trello, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So if you click on the board, it's really like Trello, but I would say this one has more
Better.
features because in the description, you can put everything. You can put links, you can put image, you can put video, you can attach PDF and so on right inside that. And I think it's really nice. And it's also real time. So that's why uh, we can share the screen and you can get updates in real time, which is very nice. Okay, and then Lovia chat. Okay, so you have already seen Lovia chat. Um, we use that to chat, so please use that instead of WhatsApp for communication in real time. Uh, this is still like maybe like in beta, but we are trying to use this for now before moving our customers to use this chat infrastructure, because yeah, we want to like actually test it and use it daily. Mm, so we know what the problems here and if it's not comfortable, if there are any bugs and so on. Okay, so we have to use it. And the nice thing also about Lovia chat compared to like say WhatsApp is that there is a full API on this. So maybe you can see in the internship channel, Lovia team, it is a bot that has the responsibility to share with us interesting things, new blog posts, new uh, YouTube video, and so on. So yeah, so the API is nice on this one. Okay, and you can also use Lovia Chat on your mobile phone. Have you installed Lovia Chat on mobile
Yes.
phone? I mean Rocket Chat, yeah.
Paket
Is
chat
there
up.
any, yeah, Rocket Chat, and then you put Chat Lovia Live on the workspace address, and then you can log in as usual. Do you have any problems with Rocket Chat on
No.
mobile phone?
No.
Right. Okay, so that's good. And possibly we we will also have a chatbot on Lovia Chat. However, unfortunately, Angela, the chatbot girl,
Mm.
has completed
That was good.
her intern last month. So, well, now there is no one working on the chatbot, but
Mm.
she has done a lot of progress, and I really like it. And it's really interesting, yeah, because it's a chatbot in Indonesian language. So
Mm.
it's really cool. It's really cool. So she has done a lot in just 2 months. Okay, and yeah, so from not knowing what Rasa chatbot platform is, on the first day of her internship, and then 2 months later already deployed to server on integration with Facebook Messenger, integration with
Mm.
API, doing testing, comparing the performance between several of the NLU models, English and Indonesian. So I would say that was great. That was great internship for 2 months. Right. Any question about Lovia Chat?
So if I have
Mm-hmm.
any issue with my task,
Mm-hmm.
uh, is it okay if I direct message
Yeah,
direct message you? Yeah.
yeah. You can direct message me, or you
Direct
can
message.
also chat on the internship channel.
Mm.
Okay.
So
So
instead
maybe it's
of
a.
using
Mhm.
WhatsApp, I chat you here, right?
Yeah, yeah. You can
Okay.
also use that on your Android phone. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. So the next one is Kamunda. Okay. So please log into kamunda.lovia.live. So there are several um, applications here in Kamunda. So have you ever heard of Kamunda before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So mostly we'll be using task list and cockpit. So the cockpit is the one that is used to monitor the business process instances that are there. So you can click on processes there in the menu and maybe try um, Lovia team notify interesting feeds. Okay,
Mm.
any one of them. Yeah, you can click on them with the errors. Okay. So this is how the system or the bot, okay, the bot to notify like a YouTube video or blog post and so on. It works is using Kamunda. So you can see from the diagram above, it's a PPMN diagram, an executable one, where okay, yeah, you can also click on the icon to like zoom, full screen or something. Expand, yeah, expand that one. So when there is a new article
Mm.
that is published, and if it's relationship related, it will go to Miluv channel. But if it's not relationship related, it will go to Lovia channel. Okay, so that is the overflow that we have. There are other processes, and maybe you can click one of the process instances below, so you can see that uh, there are errors. Yeah, there are errors about some of the instances. I think it was because there was a server error and so on. So
Mm.
if there's any failed process, we can see what the variables are, and yeah, it's like what's going on. So this helps us to diagnose an issue with the process. If you look at another, there are processes with more complex logic than this one. But even in this simple example, you can already see that the problem is the one with post messages to Lovia, right? So you can see that. Yeah, you can try to choose another one. Okay, so it's different one. Okay, so let's take for example, go to an instance with an error. So we can try to retry. Maybe that works. Okay, maybe click on one with the error.
Error.
Yeah, yeah, just
This one.
click on, yeah,
Error.
and then click one of the process instances.
Hmm.
So the way we do this is when a process is suspended because of an error, it stays here, it gets stuck, okay, and then it's waiting for, yeah, a human being to look at this. Actually, we can also program it to like automatically retry or something, but in this case, the process is stuck, and yeah, we can inspect and then try to retry. Okay, so go to incidents there, yep, and then click on the action on the red one. There is like a retry button. Okay, click on it and retry. So let's see if now this works or it's still error. Okay, you can try to like hit refresh. Oh, I think it's the error there.
No incident.
Coincidence? Okay.
Yes.
So you can like try to go back to the, oh, it's error again. Okay. So request failed with status code 400. Right. You can try to open the stack trace to see if there are other information. No, just that. All right. So not exactly useful. Yeah, but at least there is something. Yeah, at least there is something that we can try. Okay, so that's it about Camunda. Maybe during the first month that you will not be dealing with Camunda, but yeah, if you want to continue to the second month, then you will be dealing with Camunda to manage the processes in the backend. So any question about Camunda?
No.
All right. And the next one is GitLab. All right. So you can go to GitLab.
To GitLab.
Okay, so there are I think there are three projects, yeah, that I've shown you. So we host all of our source code in GitLab. I think there are some in GitHub also for the open source projects, but most of them are in GitLab. The reason is because GitLab provides a lot of tools, not just source code repository, but also continuous integration and continuous deployment. So it's basically the way to deploy a project to either staging or production environment is simply to push to Git to a specific branch. Yeah. So whether that's a staging or production, but if it's pushed to master branch, then it will not do anything. Okay, or maybe just like doing a build and test, but not deploying. So there are two projects that you will be working on. You can click on groups, or you can click on the Miluv group. So I think in Miluv group you will see. Yeah, just click on the Miluv one. Yeah. So there is a breadcrumb there that you can click. Okay, you have two projects. The PWA is the Progressive Web Apps for the front end, uses React, Redux, and Design, Polo, and also Miluv profile is for the backend. All right. So I'm not sure. Do you prefer working on the backend first before the front end, or do you prefer working on the front end first before the backend? Which one is your style?
I think more like the backend first.
Backend first.
I
All
like
right.
the API and the logic
Okay, that's good.
for the presentation.
Okay, so uh, but you will need to work something on the front end as well. Although if you don't like front end, you don't really have to care about like layout and the nice things and the visual and so on. As long as it's functional, you know, if it's a form,
Yeah.
there are text fields button, you can click it and it works. Yeah, that's good. So if you don't like it, uh, I will find another person, a team member, to uh, help you with the layout and all that stuff. Okay, so the backend here, actually we are Miluv now, the current state is that we have different backends. Okay, we have like a Java backend, we have a Node.js Express.js backend, we also have a NestJS backend. We actually also have a Stripey backend. Um, and in the next few months that we will have an ERP next backend. And we also have a WordPress backend. Okay. Uh, but there are some backends that we will continue to use in the future. And there are some backends that we are trying to replace. Okay. So for example, the current backend mostly in Java, we want to replace that with a combination of NestJS and Stripey. Okay, so uh, for the backend who are mostly like just storing data without a lot of logic, that will be using Stripey. So it's for example, it's the one that Kevin is working on because it's mostly like just storing data of ID cards using Stripey. But for this one that I will be assigning to you is using NestJS because we have a custom MongoDB schema, and also because there will be, I would say there will be quite a lot of logic, you know, basically from the sign up process and also the edit profile and also queries and so on, because it will be tightly integrated with the application. So it's using NestJS. Have you ever used NestJS before?
No.
Okay.
I only use Express.
Yeah. So NestJS is like it's like Express, and actually NestJS is by default it is built on top of Express. So it's like a framework on top of Express. However, we are not using the NestJS Express, but we are using the NestJS Festify. Festify is also a framework like Express, but based on benchmark, it's faster. Okay, it's faster. It's proven to be faster even with serverless environments because we will be deploying our backends in AWS serverless. Okay, so this is the state of this project is very new. There's not a lot of code here, so it's almost like a bare bones NestJS project. Okay, so the goal here is that for you to replicate the functionality that we already have in the previous backend to use the NestJS infrastructure, because yeah, it is more scalable and it's also faster, and using a better API. I would say GraphQL is a more convenient API to be used by front end. And it's also nicer to test because there is like autocomplete, automatic documentation, and so on. Right. So that's so I guess the to-do for next week will be something using this profile API. Okay. And then the other project that I've shared you, please go back to GitLab. The other project that I've shared with you is, yeah, the Lovia marketing kit. Okay. The Lovia marketing kit. Can you clone this on your computer?
Yeah.
So it's actually already deployed.
Already deployed.
Let's say that, yeah. You can clone this on your computer. Yep. So you use Visual Studio Code. Okay, that's nice. So you can open this project on Visual Studio Code and then you run yarn on it. Oh yeah, basically we use Node.js 12. I know there is a newer version of Node.js that is 14. However, we will not be using a newer Node.js version until Amazon supports that new Node.js version. Okay, so just to make it more compatible, yeah, to make it more compatible, we don't want any surprise errors and so on. Okay, so basically you can just do yarn and then yarn start, and let's see how it looks like. So I think you have used yarn before.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're dealing with React and React Native, right? So I think it's quite a common tool. Okay.
I'm not really using React
Oh,
before.
not. Oh, okay. Yeah. So what was the UI library that you used before?
For front-end, yeah.
Other than Flutter. Other than Flutter.
Flutter.
What did you use on your portfolio?
On my portfolio, I use only HTML and CSS, Bootstrap.
Oh, so jQuery. Okay.
Only simple Bootstrap CSS.
And what's the backend that you used? Express.
For my, excuse me, for my what?
The projects in your portfolio. What backends did you use?
Node.js.
Node.js. Okay. So Express and Bootstrap.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right.
It takes so long. Why?
So while waiting, while waiting for this, let's go back to GitLab project on the website. I will show you. So for example, go to Lovia Marketing Kit. The Lovia Marketing Kit project. Okay. Now click on the CI/CD on the sidebar.
On the sidebar.
Yeah, that is CI/CD on the left sidebar. Okay, click on it. By the way, do you plan to use this internship for your college credits, SKS?
No.
No, or you already have another internship for that?
Yeah, I already have.
Oh, you already have. Okay. So, all right. So what's the motivation then? Because you will not get any grades for your university, just for fun?
Just for productivity.
Okay. So I hope you have some fun. What I know is I can tell you a story. You know Angela Marpaung, right? Who was working on the Rasa chatbot the last 2 months. She got added on LinkedIn by the Rasa CEO.
Hmm.
Okay, and she
Oh,
told
can.
me, I don't know, maybe the Rasa CEO watched the video on YouTube or her blog
Hmm.
post and then try to find her on LinkedIn and then edit it. So yeah, that was nice. Okay, I don't know what the Rasa CEO will do with
Hmm.
uh, with Angela Marpaung, but I know
Hmm.
that Rasa uh, last month they got a big funding, yeah, because Rasa is also uh, getting a lot of investors right now.
Hmm.
So I would be happy actually if Rasa tried to recruit Angela to work there.
Hmm.
That would be nice. That would be a nice portfolio as a alumni of Lovia internships. Yeah, internship for
Yeah.
2 months and then you get recruited by an international company. So I'm not sure, but it's nice. All right. So let's go to okay. So that's the pipelines.
Hmm.
And so basically, have you ever used continuous integration or continuous delivery before?
No.
Okay. So in this case that you will be using it because the code, the backend that you will be working on your computer will need to be deployed to a staging server. So yeah, we can test it live. Yeah. And we will be using the GitLab CI CD feature here.
Hmm.
Okay. So I think you can also click on the try to click on one of the pipelines here, just so you know what it's. Yeah, try to click. I think it's the commit one. Uh, okay, click on the pipeline 144 something there.
Pipeline.
Yeah, the top one with the check mark.
Let's check
You
mark.
can see
Where is it?
the one with the pipeline. It's the center of the screen.
Center of the screen. Where is
Okay,
it?
no. You go down.
Go
Okay, go
down.
down. Okay, left. No. Just don't scroll. Just go down using your mouse, but don't scroll. Nah, that
Huh?
one. Yeah, that one. Okay, click on it.
Oh.
Okay, okay. Just click on the pipeline. Okay, on the
Line.
pipeline number. Yeah. Nah. Okay, so that's the pipeline, and okay, you can click on the job. Okay, just click inside. Okay, click on it again. Go inside again.
Huh?
Yep.
Going where?
Yeah,
Here.
that one. Mhm. Okay, so this is what happened before. Okay, that was I think that was some time ago. So 1 month ago. So as you can see, if you look at this, it's like running yarn build in your own computer, right? But
Hmm.
it's done by the server. It's done automatically, and there is a complete log of what the server is doing and whether it's deploying this this project successfully and how much time it took. It took 4 minutes and 16 seconds to do this. But the nice thing is that it's not taking any processing on our own computer. So basically, after you
Hmm.
git push, you can leave, you can go to sleep or play Mobile Legends or whatever, and and the server will do this for you. Okay,
Hmm.
if it works. If it doesn't work, then you will get an email saying there's an error, and you can see the logs. Okay, so that's
Hmm.
CI, and you can go to sidebar and click operations there, and click environments. Does it have that? No, I think I don't. Oh yeah, that one. Okay, so there is only one environment, is production. So yeah, it's so one way. There is only one environment for Lovia marketing kit, and that's production. Okay, so I will try to open the web page for this one. It is marketing-kit.lovia.live. Okay, try to open a new tab, marketing-kit, yeah, .lovia.live /account/close
Account
/close
plus
close.
close.
Yeah.
Close like.
Yep. Okay, try it. Okay, so this is that project. It's just React with design mobile. Okay, and it's also the same UI framework that you will be using to develop the front end later. Okay, after the back end is done, because you want to work on the back end first, right? Okay, just to make sure that it works, you can go to Visual Studio Code and try to yarn start to see if you can run it on your own computer and yeah, get the same thing. Yeah, get the same thing. And then issues. Okay, so conclude. That will be GraphQL backend for create user. Let's say this was users and then get one. Yeah. Pagination with specific criteria. Okay. Okay. Fusion auth. Okay. Fusion auth integration.
We can for create user, modify user. That one.
What?
I just reading your text conclude.
Okay. Okay. Cap to use. Okay. I think Fusion auth. I think that will be later. This one is more important. Okay. And there will be a ppmn. ppmn is after this one diagram. Okay. Doesn't have to be next week, but at least for next week, one mutation is good. Yeah. Let's say this is backend mutation for create user. I think before mutation should be query first. I think it's the simpler one. This will be set up MongoDB. Yeah. Have you ever used MongoDB before?
I'm trying to.
Okay.
But not yet successfully.
Okay. Okay, on localhost. Although it's possible if you use our remote instance, but I'm worried that that will be too slow to access from your place. So it would be nicer if you have a MongoDB on your own computer. Right.
Well,
Okay, so does it work? The yarn start? Okay, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Okay, should work. And all you have to do is add /account/close behind.
Oh.
Yeah, because the main page is empty.
Okay. That's
Okay,
what.
so it's working as usual. All right. So that's it for the tools that we use. Any question about that?
Actually, I have problem
Okay.
with
What problem?
this. You have to create environment env.
Okay.
From
So let's do it now. Clone it and try to do the README, and let's see if that works. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
so here it is.
Okay, so for now, just copy that file and make a new file called .env. All right. Okay. Oh, you need to also set up MariaDB, I guess. Yeah. You also need to set up MariaDB. Are you using Windows Pro or Windows Home?
I don't remember. Right.
Actually, we are also using Kubernetes and Docker. Although I'm not sure if that will be necessary for you at this point. What I'm saying is that it is possible to set up MariaDB and MongoDB using Docker. Okay, but that is just an alternative. You don't have to use that. But if you want to learn about Kubernetes, then well, you can just install. Do you like to learn about Kubernetes or not?
Kubernetes like tools for DevOps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you interested or not interested? It is up to you. How much RAM that you have on your computer?
How much RAM? 8 maybe. 8 GB RAM.
Okay, 8 gigabytes. All right. Because if you install, it's actually possible. Just open a website and search for micro K8s. Have you ever known micro K8s before?
I'm sorry.
Micro K8. That one. Yeah, micro K8s. Micro K8s. Yeah, that's how you write it. Yeah, this is our own documentation about it. But I think I also linked to click on the micro K8s there. I think it should be we can pronounce that micro Kubernetes. So this is the recommended Kubernetes. If you want to install that on your own computer, I think when you install this, it will take some RAM on your computer. When it's running, you can actually like start and stop it. But yeah, it will take some RAM. I think it will take 4 gigabytes. So that's not really a good idea if RAM is.
I have to learn it first, I think.
Yeah.
The DevOps.
But maybe later. I think for now, the best way is just to install MongoDB as usual, and also to. Have you ever used MySQL or MariaDB before?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have MySQL or MariaDB on your computer right now? Oh,
I'm
it's
using SAM.
XMPP. Okay, so you can use that one. Okay, you don't have to use Kubernetes or Docker at this point. Okay. But I think if you want to learn Kubernetes, then first you need to learn Docker first, and after Docker, then you can go to Kubernetes. Okay. I would say it's not. I would say that for me personally, Kubernetes is easier than like regular server with VM and so on. Okay. Different different way to think about it, different tools, different syntax, and so on. But after getting used to Kubernetes, it will be very hard for me to go back into like managing server manually, installing OS, and so on. Okay. Yeah. Almost basically, my target is that all of our infrastructure that we manage ourselves would be either Kubernetes or serverless. For example, Lovia Chat is using Kubernetes. The SSO Fusion Auth is also managed in Kubernetes, and the other APIs, they are serverless and so on. Our current Java is not using Kubernetes; it's in just a VM. And for the About Lovia side, the WordPress ones, they are not using Kubernetes, but they are also easy to manage. So it's not really a problem. Okay, so let's try to run this. Okay, have you run Yarn? No, I mean the project. Okay, try to run this first. Yarn.
The environment, just leave it blank, right? Like this.
Leave it blank first, just to so I will guide you, because you will need to know the error message to fix it, right? Yeah, because if you do, if you don't know the error message, then probably it's not a good idea to basically you need to know the error message to be able to fix it. So that's why I don't like if just like giving you the shortcut, but you didn't know why it works. Okay, you need to know why it didn't work, and when you do something, then you know what makes it work again. Okay.
Coding in nutshell.
Okay, so right, this is still doing this again.
Doing sometime. This.
Okay, so while waiting, do you have something to ask about it?
Other than this, I have problem too with this.
Okay.
PWA.
Yeah, make sure just to run Yarn first, at least once, so that there will be no waiting for dependencies and so on.
So this one, this part, then
okay.
The Swagger Hub.
Okay. So this is actually the API client for the previous one that I hope that we will not need to use again. Okay, so I want to switch entirely, or at least the majority, maybe like 95% of the APIs using GraphQL, because that will be easier to use from both React and also React Native. Okay, so this is for the previous one. I think you can ignore this part for now.
Oh, okay. So this PWA can run without this API.
Yeah. It's actually just to regenerate the API, but it's actually already here. The API is already here. Okay. And sometimes you see references to Heartenly. Heartenly is the previous name for Miluv. Okay. I will give you a quick tour of NestJS, yeah, while loading for this. Okay. So the first one, yeah, package JSON, you already know. So let's go into source folder. Let's go into source folder. And okay, in NestJS, we usually use modules. So you can see there are users. You can click on users. And I think you can also click on auth. Okay, you can click on auth. Yep. Okay, so in this case, there are 3 modules in NestJS project. So there is app. App is the default module. So it's like the root module. Yeah, all the documentation about NestJS is in the website. You can read about it. And there's an app and there's a user module. This one I create myself. And also the auth module. This one I create myself. So now click on the, let's click on main TS first. Main TS. Main TS. Main. All right. So this is like the entry point. Yeah. I don't think that we will need to ever change something here. So it's basically like the bootstrap one. So when the NestJS application is run, and then it will run this, it's basically creating a app variable from the Nest factory, and it includes the app module. So it's just a skeleton, right? Have you used TypeScript before?
No.
Okay, so we'll be using TypeScript for all of our projects, not the JavaScript. I think you will like it because then you will get like autocomplete and helpful errors and so on. But if you have any problems with it, just let me know. Okay, so now go to app.module.ts. Okay, so this is the app module, and you can see there are imports. It's basically importing the lower level modules, right? And it also setting up the configuration. So it reads the configuration, and it also sets up a type ORM. Oh, it's still using type ORM. All right. So I think this will need to be changed to what's the one from type goose. Okay. So okay. So that should be changed to type goose. It's a problem, right? I think this one is okay, but then change to type goose. Okay. That's an issue. Okay, so actually there are 2 ways to use MongoDB from NestJS. The first library is type ORM, but I think the better library is type goose. Okay. And yeah, I have put that to the Notion. Okay. But
what's the difference with Mongoose?
Mongoose is for JavaScript, right? And TypeGoose is actually using Mongoose inside. Okay. So everything that you can do in Mongoose, basically you can do in TypeGoose, but TypeGoose has a lot of helpers to make it more straightforward because it uses TypeScript features, yeah, to like automatically. So it's because it's like how type ORM does it. Okay, let's open the models folder. Let's open the model folder. and click on user. It's annotated using type ORM, but then you can see all of the definitions here are definitions from with annotated using type ORM. So it makes it easier for the source code to like connect with the MongoDB documents and so on. Okay. So yeah, that will be something. I think the changing to type ORM, I think this should be done by me. It will be quite challenging, I guess. So I think type ORM in the first time it's okay. We can use type ORM for now because it's in the end it's just a slightly different syntax, but conceptually it's like pretty much the same.
So this is currently using type ORM.
Yeah, currently using type ORM, and there's also type GraphQL. So it's a way of annotating this model because there are models, right? So that it's somewhat easier to use within GraphQL. So it's like this same file, this same class and properties and so on will be used by GraphQL as well. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's backend for you. And then, so okay, let's go back to app module again. Okay, so let's go back to app module again.
App module.
Right. Okay, and there's configuration and so on, blah, blah, blah. Let's scroll down a bit. Okay, so now what we see here is that there are imports for users module and GraphQL module and also auth module. And also there are controllers and providers. Let me, okay, how do I explain this?
A controller.
Yeah, controller is, yeah, it's like the controller in
MVC.
Yeah, in MVC. Okay, so I think it's the simplest part to get used to, but I don't think that we will be using controller at all here. Maybe just a little bit if we are like handling files and so on, but mostly we will be handling resolvers. It's a resolver is like a controller, but in GraphQL terminology, yeah, in GraphQL concept. So the GraphQL module for root here is just like using the GraphQL module integration in NestJS. However, the implementation itself is inside the users module. Okay, so now try to open users module JS.
User module.
Yep, this one. Okay, so now you can see that this module imports type ORM module for they call it feature, but we can say that it's a model, yeah, for the user model. And then this module provides services. So you can think about it that there is an app module, and this app module is depending on like GraphQL, type ORM, and so on modules. And this app module has a child, and that is called user module. And this user module contains several services, okay? Several services and also several resolvers. So what is the difference between service and resolver? So usually a service is something that connects to the database directly. Okay, so let's try to open user service there. Okay, so this is the user service. I will also share you the database schema for user. I think you will be surprised because we have like, I don't know, 150 fields or something. Okay. So this is service. So this service uses a repository. As you can see on line 10, yeah, on line 10, it uses a repository. This repository is provided by type_rm. So this is the one that's connecting directly to MongoDB. Okay, it's provided by the type_rm library. So you can think of it like the Mongoose, yeah. You can think of it like the Mongoose. And this user service is our own implementation. So yeah, so it's basically what queries that we want to do here.
Oh,
okay,
like the models
so,
in 50.
Yeah, like the model. So as you can see, like find one, it's very simple. Find one by ID. So basically, it's just calling the repository, and that's it. Okay. So these are the services that we want to provide to the client. Okay, and maybe like, do logging, or maybe logic to check for authorization, logic to check for validation, and so on should be here. Okay, in the service. Okay, so that is for the service. However, the service does not deal with anything about the GraphQL or REST API. Okay, so that is the part of resolver. Now you can open users resolver. Okay, so yeah, I think from the part before, you already know what is a database. You already know like a repository and the CRUD. Yeah, but in this part, resolver, I think this is new, so maybe you'll need to get used to it. So a resolver is, especially because you haven't not used GraphQL before, right? Or you have used GraphQL before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, yeah. I think you can discuss with Kevin also, yeah, about GraphQL if there are some concepts about GraphQL that you want to discuss with Kevin, because Kevin already uses GraphQL, and I would say that there are things about GraphQL that he can help you with, but not the NestJS. Okay, because this is the implementation of GraphQL. Actually, you should know how to use GraphQL first before like implementing a GraphQL API. Okay, so a resolver is even REST API. You have ever used REST API before?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So REST resolver is, maybe it's like a REST API, a collection of methods. Yeah. For example, this resolver is for user. So from this resolver, you can get maybe one user, maybe you can get a list of users, or maybe you can create or modify or maybe delete the user. So for example, we have two queries here. The first query is user, just get one. And then the other query is find all limit, and that is to get several users. Yeah, but this is still not yet finished. Yeah, so that you can see that it's not fully implemented. Okay, so that is the concept of resolver. I think a good way is I will show you an example of GraphQL. Okay. Okay. Try to Google list of public GraphQL APIs. Okay, just so you know how to use this. Okay, yeah, I think that one is good. Okay, let's check one of them.
I just click random one.
Okay, so do you like anime?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, maybe after trying this anime GraphQL API, you will like anime. Okay, let's see if this one works. Yeah, let's see if this one works. Okay, so this is like a GraphQL playground where you can enter GraphQL here, and if we get that running, we can also enter for our own GraphQL. But let's use this one first. Click on the left one. Left one, okay. No, okay. Enter something. Okay, try to enter a curly brace. Yeah, on that one. You don't have to delete it. It's just a comment. All right. Please enter. Don't use copy paste. Just please type. Please type.
How?
Because you need to know the GraphQL experience. Do not copy paste. Please comment that again. Okay. Please type curly brace. All right, and then control space.
Control space.
Okay. So choose something.
Oh.
Okay. Now try to run it. Try to play it. Okay, requires at least one argument. Okay, so that means the character, and then you put parentheses after character. Okay.
With ID.
Okay. Yeah, ID, and maybe you can. Okay, but I don't think that you know the ID. Okay, try another query. Try another query. Not character. Try another query that gives a list, so it makes it easier. Okay, maybe like character list or something that has a list behind it, so that.
Canary collection.
Okay. All right. So now you have a canary collection. So this is how GraphQL works. And as you can see, even without you like reading a documentation, you can use this UI for exploring what are the queries that are available. Okay. So now to see what the queries are available, check the documentation explorer on the right. So click on query on the documentation on the right sidebar.
On the right.
Yeah, click on query. Okay, so now you have several things, right? Media and so on. Okay, try to scroll down. So maybe, do we have something there? Character, stuff, user. Okay, media list. Okay. Okay, try media list. Try media list.
Media list.
Media list. Okay. Is there something there? All right, requires at least one argument. Okay, try to click on the media list on the documentation so we know what is the argument that is needed. Okay,
Media list.
on the, yeah, not the collection, the media list itself. Go back to query and find the media list. Click on media list. Okay, click on the media list. Okay. So I think filtered by, all right. Okay, so I think we can try filter by type, I guess. Okay, try media list and then parentheses, and then put type in there.
Type.
Okay, type, and then you should be able to, yeah, and then colon, and then you should be able to like control space.
Control space.
Yeah.
Don't have any.
Maybe don't put the quotes. Just remove the quotes first. Okay, remove the quotes first and then control space.
Oh.
Okay. All right, and then try to run it. Expected name found. Okay, so now you have to list the fields that you want to return. Okay, yeah, and then control space there. You can control space now. It will give you a list. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is different than REST API because in REST API you get whatever fields returned by the API, right? But in GraphQL, the client needs to specify the fields that it wants. And can you see why this is more efficient?
Yeah.
So like in bandwidth.
Use the data that we don't need.
Yeah. Okay, media list. Well, it's just one, yeah. Maybe is there any like type or something like a limit? Is there any limit? Oh yeah, try manga. Okay. Yeah, is there something like name?
I don't know.
But yeah, basically this is just a way to explore this API. It should be something, but okay. I think this gives you a little bit of information on how to use GraphQL, yeah. So a real world example. Okay, oh, I see the studio and so on. Nice, nice. Okay. And it's all working. And you can try exploring other APIs. Okay. Yeah, I would say this is what I want to share with you for this meeting. It's already too long, actually. It should be like 1 hour. But yeah, because you're asking something about how to set up the project, although it doesn't work yet, we can continue that on the Lovia chat. So if you have any issues that you want my help, just like give it a screenshot, or yeah, a better one is a video. You can post that and I will take a look, and maybe I can help you to diagnose the problem. Or at least if I don't diagnose the problem, I will give you a link. I will give you a link. Try to follow the advice in this article and something. Okay. So any other question? Because
I guess
the one is still working.
My next to do is doing the GraphQL query, but that is after the migration of type RM to type GUS, right?
Maybe not after. I think we can do that. Migration to type GUS after, yeah, because I think migrating to type GUS is more about like solving problems and bugs and so on. But generally, most of the work in type ORM just like a change syntax, it will be more or less the same. Yeah. Okay.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
if I'm doing GraphQL query, I have to done it in type Gus, right?
For now, just use type ORM because I already set
Mm-hmm.
up type ORM there. But what you need is that you need to set up MongoDB on localhost. You need to set up
Mm-hmm.
MariaDB, and yeah, the settings there .env. Put the like your password whatever there for
Mm-hmm.
localhost, and make sure you can run it on your computer without any error, and try to use the GraphQL API. So because you need to get it running first, right, before you can add your own source code. So I think during the next week, or hopefully during the next few days, if you can get this done and make the project running on your own computer, that's already good. Okay. I think I will also need to share you the schema. Yeah.
The schema, I don't know the
Yeah, MongoDB
collection
schema.
names or the
Yeah.
database names.
Yeah. And I will also need to share you a sample MongoDB dump. Okay. So I'll give you a sample
What do you
MongoDB
use
dump.
MariaDB for? What do you use MariaDB for? What do
MariaDB,
you
there are some data that are stored in MongoDB. Mostly, we use MariaDB for data warehouse. Let me give you the link to this. This one. Okay, I'll save you the link. Oh, just put it here on Notion. Okay. Or you can open about Lovia. Can open about Lovia on handbook and click or try to find data warehouse. Okay, try to open it. I will show you. Okay, find data warehouse. That one. Right. So because we are using Google Data Studio to access it, and yeah, because Google Data Studio does not support MongoDB, so we have to use MariaDB for that. So as you can see, yeah, there's Google Data Studio, and yeah, that's it.
Oh, ini.
Okay. And there is an ETL actually. There is an ETL process that is run several times a week that processes data from MongoDB and then move that data to MariaDB so that Google Data Studio can process it for the marketing team. Okay. So because the marketing team needs to know like how many users have registered, how many users have paid, and what are the demographics of the users and so on. And we use Google Data Studio to make it a nice report, visual report.
Okay. Because I will running this MySQL database locally. Will you send me the copy of the database, or I have to make it myself?
Basically for development purpose, I would say just use the databases, maybe like collections or tables that you use. Okay, so the ones that you don't use, you don't really have to care about it. Okay, so I try to make the tasks, the task for each team member as specific as possible. So you can only care about the things that that are within your project scope. So you don't have to like know everything else. Okay, like data warehouse, you don't have to care about it. It's not in your project scope. So mostly,
in this Miluv profile API,
yeah,
MySQL
you basically you can create an empty database for that. Okay, you can create the empty database on your own computer, just so that the project is not giving error because of missing information. But the database itself does not have to like contain any data.
Okay.
For the that will be the same as MongoDB, because MongoDB currently we have lots of collections, but I would say that for your purpose now, there are only a few collections that you need to consider. So not everything. Okay, so
do I have to know the MySQL database schema too? I mean, the table.
Yes, a little bit. Okay, yes, a little bit. Okay. But you do not have to create a new schema or anything, because the schema is already there. And if you see on the source code, it's actually not only that you already have the database schema, but you already have the schema as a model in TypeScript. So that's nice, right? You don't have to type it again. If you open the model file, user model.ts, how many lines there? I think there are thousands of lines. User.ts. Yeah, that one. How many lines? Yay.
1,000.
Okay. So yeah, be thankful that you are not the one that is doing this. Yeah. Okay. But when we are migrating to type goods, then yeah, things like this will be replaced. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Any question?
In the conclude.
Okay, so before we conclude, let's create a meeting agenda for next week. Okay, but we will use a more standardized format for next week. So go to the calendar page. So we will duplicate for someone else's meeting agenda. Yeah? Okay, so I think you need to go to last month agenda. Okay. Okay, this one is also right. Oh, you can clone for Kevin's from Kevin agenda. Just do that. Right click and duplicate. Yeah, I think you cannot do that from here. You need to right click from the calendar view. It's quite weird that they are not. Close this one first and right click and duplicate, right? And then drag the copy. No, not that one. That's the original one, the copy.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, and then click on it. Okay, so the way you do this is, yeah, change that one to your own name. And you are Miluv product engineer. All right, attendees, change. And also change the time. Okay, don't worry about this one. Okay, change the date, the time first. That will be the time. Yep, that one should be 2 p.m. All right. And then change the attendees. Yeah, you can give yourself a reminder. Okay, and attendees. Okay. And then, okay, so, yep, it's already mostly empty. That's good. Okay, so rocks for this quarter, please remove this first. The rocks for this quarter, I would say that I will give you a rock, this one. Okay, wait. So a rock is basically EOS term for milestone. Yeah? So I would say this will be a milestone. How long do you plan to do the internship?
2 to 3 months.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, so if 3 months, let's assume 3 months, that will be 1 quarter. So it's like exactly 1 quarter from 1 July to end of September. I will create a rock for you. Okay, Miluv product port.
I'm sorry.
Okay, okay. So rocks. All right. Miluv PVA for signed up. Edit. For signed up. Edit. Search. All right. Okay. That will be epic. Okay. Send to Dimas. The timeline. Okay, let's make the timeline. Okay, let's make it a 1 month first for this one. All right. Okay, and then I will put it on the. Okay. So, okay. So now please go to your new meeting agenda. Okay. Now go to rocks. Okay, rock review. Okay, put below the rock review. Okay, for the rocks for this quarter, put below that. Okay, press add. Press add. And Miluv PWA. Miluv space PWA. So it will try to find space PWA. Let it search. Not using dash, space.
Space.
Yeah, space PWA. Okay, just wait a bit. It will show you the card. Oh, it's taking some time. Come on. Okay, so this is how you link to a page or a person. That one. In Notion. Okay, so that's your rock. And then about the to-do list. Okay, now for the to-do list. Okay, this is not yet filled. We can discuss about this rock next week. Okay, for details. But for this week, just make sure that like MongoDB and so on is working first. Okay, so for to-dos, go back to the previous card for today, and that means you will need to copy and paste the things from that card to today. So on the recap to-dos, yeah, on the recap to-dos one, you copy that. Okay, you copy all of them.
I'm sorry.
Okay. You need to like shift, like do the shift. Nah, like that. You can just copy the
Everything.
clipboard. Yep. To below down without the schedule one, yeah. For okay, you can delete that later actually. Okay, just the one with the checkboxes. Just the one with the checkboxes.
Okay.
All right, copy that and then go to the next week's agenda and then put them on to-dos.
To-do
To-dos.
list.
To-dos is section 5. Yeah, that one. Okay, that's good. And I think you have cleared up everything else. Is there anything else below? Or you have deleted them? Okay, that's nice. Good. So that's it. That's the meeting agenda for next week. But if you have some issues or whatever, please put on the meeting agenda for next week. Okay. So let's go back for the meeting agenda for today. And okay, so please conclude the meeting, and you will need to give a rating for this meeting. You put a number between 0 to 10 on the meeting there. And that's it.
Between 0 to 10, 9.
Okay. I will give it a 7 because it's too long. So please write 7 there. Okay.
The longer the better.
Yeah. And no, longer is not better. The most effective meetings are less than 60 minutes. Okay. I've had a meeting with Angela only 17 minutes. And that's great. Yeah.
That's most
effective. So fast meeting, but get things done. That's good. Okay, so please put 7 in there. Please put 7 in there.
Oh, on hand.
Mine. Okay, and yeah, and that's what you will be doing every week. Prepare the next week's meeting, and then rate it, and then conclude. So I would say for this one, yeah, please, I will give it to you to conclude the meeting, and from the next week and so on, you are going to one who is leading the meeting. So what I mean by leading the meeting, so you are doing the greeting, you move through to its sections of the meeting agenda, and then you also close and greet the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, please.
One last question. From next weekly, I don't have to done all of this, right?
No, it's just I would say that my expectation for next week would be that you get MongoDB working on your computer without errors. You get MariaDB working without errors. The schema that I will send you, and also a database dump MongoDB that I will send you. You can import that, and there is no errors. The project, you can run it without errors, and you can like do a sample GraphQL. I think that would be great. And try to like experiment querying or learning about GraphQL itself, yeah, on other public GraphQL API. So you know what is the syntax of how to do a lot of queries, like how to like pagination, okay, how to do offset limit, next page, and so on. Basically, make sure you understand how to use GraphQL, because we will implement GraphQL starting next week. Yeah, after next week, we will discuss on how to implement that. But during the next week, it's more about getting you set up and no errors and something. Okay. But if there are errors, then let me know.
So I will get the data dump.
Yeah, of course. But even without the data dump, you should be able to run the project, right? At least when you run the project, you will get an empty document, but not error, right? You get a list of something, but that's already good, right? Because yeah, at least you're done something. And even if you don't have a database dump, you can try to inspect the user model and try to put some data there and see if it gives you some data. Okay. So it's because at this stage it's more about you playing with Nest and GraphQL and MongoDB. Have you ever used MongoDB before?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I'm trying to, but I get an error with connecting it.
Okay. So yeah, so things like that. Okay. So the next week is really more about getting all of the errors and technical issues and so on done. Okay. So from next week we can actually like get into doing instead of preparing. Yeah. So this week is the preparation week.
I will be expecting this MongoDB schema on where? What platform in this Notion?
Yeah, I will share that. I think I will share it on Google Drive, yeah, on your email. Okay. But even if I have not shared it to you, as I said before, you can already experiment with an empty database, or you know the fields, right? In the user.ts, you actually already have the fields. You can try to put any data there and see if that works, and that's it. Okay, you don't have to have like a real database with lots of rows just to test if it's working. Okay. And maybe another suggestion for me, if you want to try to set up a project from scratch, like setting up NestJS and TypeScript and MongoDB with your own schema. It's like your own side project, something. That will also be useful because Kevin did that. Okay, so his project with me is creating a ID card verification repository using Strapi, but then based on what he learned, he then created another Strapi project. He is building an inventory management repository also with Strapi, but then yeah, he did it and then he created a front end for it. I didn't realize that he was also learning front end, so that was good. That's really good, and he's also learning React there. So yeah, because he's learning React, so I think you can also discuss with him. Well, maybe later, yeah. Maybe after next month, because I think during this month on July, you will not be dealing with front end at all. Just doing the back end API. As you said, you like the back end better, so I will give you back end.
Okay.
Okay, you can conclude the meeting and greeting.
Okay. What do I have to say? I mean, all I have to say is thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the chance that you've given me and trusting me for. And I hope I can do well.
Okay. Me too.
Yeah. That's it. I'm sorry if I have any mistaken in my saying or doing. Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.